So, there is a visitor in our solar system right now, a traveler from a distant, unknown star. It's called 3I/Atlas, and for months, it's been the center of some really wild speculation. In this explainer, we're going to unravel the real story behind this cosmic guest and find out what's really going on. Breaking all the rules. Or is it? This object's strange behavior has fueled all sorts of theories. We're talking everything from alien tech to physics-defying maneuvers. But as you'll see, the truth is often way more fascinating than fiction. Okay, so before we dive headfirst into all the mysteries and conspiracies, we gotta cover the basics. We need to understand exactly what we're looking at. So, what is this thing? Right off the bat, the biggest clue is its insane speed. We're talking 60 kilometers per second. That is way too fast for our sun's gravity to ever capture it. And that, right there, is the smoking gun. It's the absolute proof that this thing is not from around here. It's just passing through, which means we get one shot, and only one shot to study it before it disappears back into deep space forever. And this is where it gets truly mind-blowing. Scientists estimate 3I Atlas is about 7 billion years old. To put that in perspective, that's older than our entire solar system. So this isn't just some random rock. No way. It's a cosmic fossil, a relic from the early days of our galaxy, and it's carrying secrets from its home star system. All right, so now that we've got the basics down, let's get to the good stuff. The really strange part. Because as this ancient traveler got closer to our sun, it started doing some very weird things. Things that basically sent the internet into a total frenzy. So the first big head scratcher was this sudden, really dramatic burst of light. Now look, comets get brighter as they get closer to the sun, that's normal. But Atlas didn't just get brighter, it flared up, suddenly becoming something like 3 times more brilliant than any of the standard models predicted. So what on earth could cause a surge like that? Well, the key is remembering that this thing has been in a deep, deep freeze for billions of years. As it got close to our sun, that ancient ice was getting hit with serious heat for the very first time, and that likely caused what scientists call a phase change, basically a super fast, almost explosive vaporization of gases that were trapped inside. That just blew a huge cloud of material out into space, and boom, that's what caused that massive spike in brightness. Okay, next up on the what is this thing doing list was an apparent color shift. Early on, it looked kind of reddish, but then, as it got closer and more active, observations suggested it was turning blue. So was it changing its appearance on purpose? What was going on here? Yeah, it turns out it wasn't a true color change at all. You can think of comets as these big, dirty snowballs. When it's far away, the dust is the main thing we see reflecting sunlight, and that looks reddish. But as Atlas heated up, it started spewing out enormous amounts of gas. Stuff like cyanogen, which glows with a distinct blue-green light. All that happened was that the glowing gas simply started to outshine the dust, which changed the main color we were seeing from Earth. But then came the bombshell, the news that really got everyone talking. A report came out that we had detected a radio signal coming from 3I ATS. And for a lot of people, this was it. This was the proof. But the real question is, what did our telescopes actually hear? So that alien signal, it was the unmistakable radio frequency of something called hydroxyl radicals. And what are those? Well, they're what you get when intense sunlight blasts apart molecules of good old water ice, H2O. So far from being a message from ET, this signal was the single best piece of evidence we could have possibly gotten that 3I/Atlas is a comet loaded with vaporizing water. It didn't just raise the possibility of it being a spaceship, it basically proved it was a comet. All right, the last major puzzle on our list was its tail. I mean, for a while, it looked like it didn't even have one. And then, when a tail finally did appear, it seemed to be doing something physically impossible. So this incredible photograph emerged, and it showed a spike of light that looked like it was pointing towards the sun. Now, that should immediately set off alarm bells, because it seems to fly in the face of a basic law of physics, right? Comet tails are pushed by the solar wind. They should always point away from the sun. So what in the world was going on? Turns out it was a spectacular optical illusion. This so-called anti-tail isn't actually made of stuff flying into the sun. It's a trail of heavier dust that the comet leaves behind in its own orbital path. Think of it like a flat sheet of dust along its orbit.
And when Earth passes through that exact orbital plane, our perspective shifts. We see that thin sheet of dust perfectly edge-on, and from where we're standing, it creates the illusion of a spike aimed right at the sun. It's a really cool effect, and it's a well-known phenomenon we've seen in many, many other comets. Okay, so let's put all the pieces of this puzzle together. Every single strange event, every unexplained phenomenon, actually has a clear and frankly really cool scientific explanation.
So, when you line up all the evidence, a really clear picture emerges. The supposed alien signal? That was just water ice vaporizing. The crazy brightening? That was ancient gases escaping. The color change? That was just the gas overwhelming the dust. And the anti-tail? A proven optical illusion. In fact, more recent photos now show a beautiful classic ion tail pointing exactly where it should be, away from the sun. Case closed. And this all leads us to the real core takeaway here. The fact that 3I, or Atlas, is weird is exactly what we should have expected. I mean, think about it. It was formed around a completely different star, in a totally different system, probably with a different chemical recipe. Its strangeness isn't a sign that it's artificial. Its strangeness is the signature of its authenticity. It's the proof that it's a true interstellar visitor. So, if it's not an alien probe, does that make it boring? Oh, absolutely not. In fact, in a way, it makes it even more incredible. Look, 3I Atlas isn't an alien messenger. It's a time capsule. It's a message in a bottle that was tossed into the cosmic ocean 7 billion years ago. What we're looking at is a pristine sample of the building blocks of another solar system, delivered right to our front door. That makes it a priceless scientific artifact that can tell us so much about how planets form elsewhere in our galaxy. And that is the real mystery we should be focused on. Not the sci-fi fantasies, but the profound scientific truth that's right in front of us. This visitor has traveled for eons through unimaginable darkness between the stars. And for just a brief, fleeting moment, it's passing through our light. The real question is, what secrets of another solar system does this ancient traveler carry? And what will it teach us about our own place in the cosmos?